talking amongst ourselves on IPL Radio on the Jess
I
Address.
always do.
But it's because we've got such an interesting guest come in on board. Jamie, I'm sorry, I spelt your name wrong on my post, and we're so encouraged to have you in here to talk about the amazing art that you've produced and been awarded for. How do you feel winning the emerging artists?
It's kind of weird. I've been doing it for ages, so it's to be called emerging is funny, but I guess I am emerging in that I haven't really put my artwork out there until the last 5 or so years. Really.
He's just answered one of my questions without me asking it, because that was what I wanted to know, was what makes an emerging artist. So it's the fact that you're finally at a space where you're willing to share your art, and so people really haven't seen it previously.
Yeah, there's actually a criteria in the award, which I think was something like within a certain period after you graduated from like a traditional art school, or like I think it's 7 years. Like within 7 years of like kind of launching yourself as an artist.
So did you go to a traditional art school, or has this all come from just your creativity?
I did. Went to the TAFE WA Art School, TAFE in the city, but I studied graphic design and multimedia. That was called multimedia back in those days.
Okay, all right.
So we did everything you could think of, like actually developing photography and stuff like that. But that was me wanting to do art, but trying to figure out a way to make money out of get a job in art. So.
That's really interesting, because I have a daughter who's 13, and I've actually spoken to you about this girl before, because I don't know where to send her or what to do next, because she is only 13. And your advice to me was just to let her lock herself in her room, because she does. She locks herself in her room and then 6 hours later she comes out and she's created something. Yeah. So to how do you shift that to something, because you want to be able to be passionate about what you do and be able to be passionate about what earns you the money. But sometimes, especially in the arts industry, it's not a real easy jump to make.
Yeah, society tells us that you can't earn money out of art, but there's so many kind of jobs around art that you can work in. So you could be like, we've got a great curator for this show, Sandra Murray. She's put together an amazing show. But that's an example of a job in the arts circles. Mm-hmm. So you could still be a practicing artist and do curation, run galleries, be a promoter. There's loads of people in Perth doing that, earning good money out of it.
Sorry, Jess.
Yeah, well, graphic design, there's mural opportunities now. I know RAC are really getting behind the town teams movement and looking at opportunities for artists that way. So there is opportunities, but it's about having those connections, isn't it? And do you believe that entering this competition will give you future connections to be able to make $1 in art?
Yeah, I think so. In the art world, especially if you're doing traditional kind of painting or sculpture or something like that, then you do need to make those connections to like curators and people who run galleries and stuff like that. So like even the judges on this show have connections up into the art world. Obviously, they're like curators of other galleries. So there may be opportunities there.
Can I ask, did you have an artist statement along with your piece?
Yes, I do. Not on me, though.
No, that's okay. We forgive you. We're really learning, because we've had a few artists come in, and it's been really interesting for us, like particularly the piece I just showed you, because she had completed it in year 12, the artist statement was so very detailed. So it's really interesting for us to see what you were thinking when you created it versus what we are made to feel when we see it.
I always say art is about perspective, and I think I encourage that in kids a lot, in that what you like, someone else may not or not see what you see, but what you don't like, someone else may really love. So it's all about, I think kids can be really hard on themselves. They create something and compare it to someone else. But art is all about perspective and about what other people see in it and whether it had value to you. And I want to know what value that art that you created had for you.
Well, when I'm doing art, that's what I absolutely love. Like if I could do anything all the time, it would be sitting there doing that, because once they call it a flow state, when you're you start to lose track of time, things like that, and you just get into it.
Yeah.
And there's no, I can't think of anything else that I can do that makes me feel that way, which is great. But just on what you were saying about perspective, like part of the art for me, the enjoyment of it is once I've finished it and I'm hanging it somewhere, someone viewing it and interpreting it their way is quite exciting to me because I have my view of what it is, but it's actually probably more powerful when someone sees it and they draw their own kind of perspective out of it.
Yes. And it can also be personal, can't it? When they see it and it makes them reflect on something on their life, and you can go, "Wow, I just had that superpower."
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is an artist statement for this piece, and I kind of hate like giving that out because it's I want people to be kind of curious and see the piece in the gallery setting from a distance and go, "Oh, what is that?"
Yeah.
And then be attracted to it and then take their own interpretation out of it. But this piece is kind of about kind of being trapped in like this world that we're in where the technology is kind of controlling everything that we do, and we have to be part of it, but we have to also try and take time out of it if we can.
Yeah.
But there's like a main character in the piece that's kind of like a face. Kind of, he's part of a machine.
He's drawing you in.
Yeah, he's all part of the system. And I use loads of metaphors, like layers of metaphors in my work. So you can see that with like factories and machines and conveyor belts. They're all kind of like symbolic of, a man-made world. We're kind of
the
like
machine that we're in.
The rat race?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Like a rat race, yes.
Yeah.
Where do you draw your inspiration?
Wow.
Do you reflect on other artists' work and look at their pieces?
I'm fans of loads, like obviously fans of loads of different artists. Like that's one awesome thing about the art world is the other artists are awesome to kind of, because they're all in the same mindset, they're all just creating something, and the artists really loathe their own work quite often, and that's actually kind of a good thing in a way, because you kind of, it constantly pushes you to get better.
Yeah.
And even like when I finish a piece of work, everyone will go, "Oh yeah, it's great, it's amazing," and I go, "Oh yeah, but
your own worst critic."
That piece, that bit there, I could have done better, or and I think that's pretty common with artists. And winning this award is great, but I also feel really terrible for the other artists that are like, like I look around that gallery and think, wow, there's some really awesome artwork here, and I should just give myself credit.
You should. Absolutely.
But I do feel like it sucks missing out on an award. And I'm pretty lucky to pick it up.
Look, I don't think luck has anything to do with it. I think you're extremely talented and you've worked really hard, but I can see that's going to make you blush. But I love that you recognise that I have felt so strongly creating this piece and understood that everyone else has felt as strongly about their pieces, and you'd love to share the glory with them. But I think the fact that everyone's even up there and open and out for people to see is such an achievement as well.
And it takes courage to put your work on display for then it to be judged by others, and knowing that it's going to be judged. It's not like just putting it in an exhibition where people walk through and have their own opinion to themselves. They're putting it up for it to be judged, and that is courageous on its own.
Yeah, it is a weird thing. I always feel like because I did have a solo show in 2021 and it went really well, but walking into a gallery with just my artwork in it, and I felt it was a very weird, vulnerable feeling, like, this is like someone walking into my head.
Yes. Yeah. I never even thought of that.
I don't know. That is a weird thing,
Yeah.
So do you think you felt super sensitive that all your art was there on display, and possibly what you were going to get back wasn't what you're putting out there? Or
I can't really put my finger on what that is, that feeling is. It's just that,
it's personal.
It'd
be great to have your art show, but just not have to go to it. Like have someone else walking around.
Well, I do like going to my own show because I work under a pseudonym.
Yes, that was
which is Doodles in Transit, and the weird story behind that is like back when I started this, I was like really frustrated with, like, I work 9 to 5, so I would commute to work and I'd sit there like scrolling through my phone like everybody else on the train, and I look around and go, wow, we're just really wasting our time here. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you get to the end of your train trip, for me that's 40 minutes, you know, like back and forth, and I just think, wow, the thing I love I'm not doing, and I've wasted all this time every day. I'll just start drawing instead. So I put the phone away, got a sketchbook out, started sketching every morning. And at first it was just black and white cartoons, and then loads of people going, oh, this is great, but you should do it in colour. So I started doing it in colour, and people like that even more.
Yeah, the colour is fantastic.
So vibrant.
Yeah.
And then a couple of people said to me, and this is like, it's important that people like encourage artists as well, because like it's just a tiny thing that someone says can kind of, like, everything I can map back to one person saying, oh, you should do this.
Yeah.
And it's like a step forward in what I did. So someone said to me, this would be great if you painted these things. And like, yeah, I mean, I painted in the past. I painted other stuff in the past with really drab palettes, you know, like dark, kind of angsty teenager.
Like your soul? I'm sorry.
Like your soul, Emma.
I'm sorry. I've got to stop like saying the things that come into my brain.
No. So yeah, I thought, okay, I'll maybe start painting some of these things, and that's like a huge jump between like a coloured cartoon to like, oh, here's a canvas, let's paint something. You know, like it's a completely different ball game. So I started doing that, but I'm really, really slow at painting. So I put together 3 pieces, went in a group show in Subiaco, and they all sold like the first night. And I was like, wow, people want this stuff. Okay, all right, interesting. And I said to the gallery owner, like, hey, could I, you know, if there's a chance to do a solo show, that'd be awesome. He's like, absolutely. When do you want to do it? And I just thought, wow, I haven't got any artwork. So
put yourself under a bit of
6
pressure.
years from now.
I said a year. I said, give me 12 months. And I think it was longer than that in the end. I think it was probably more like, 15 months or 18 months or something like that. And
how many pieces are necessary for a solo show?
well, I guess that depends on the size of the gallery.
Okay.
But I had a stage where I was like, okay, I've got a major piece, like a large piece, and that will set the kind of standard for pricing and things like that. And then small batches of like small pieces, and then I thought, what else can I do? I've got all this like painting work, but maybe people might like some of my digital work as well. So I like do digital illustrations as well. So like printed up a series of skateboards. So like I did 3 different skateboard designs, and on the night they just went like hotcakes. Like it's crazy. And the major, like before I even opened the show, I pretty much sold most of the work in the show. And then I thought, wow, I've got almost no artwork left again.
But is that
A clean canvas.
Is that like, I'm just wondering at what point, and I'm not sure if this is an offensive question, so if it is, sorry, but at what point do you go, oh wow, I'm an artist? Like, is it when my child's locked in her room right now and she's working on
absolutely.
that, or did you feel it was like when I sold my first piece, or are you an artist because you do it, or are you an artist because someone pays you to do it?
I think when your kids lock themselves in a room, they're an artist.
She's an artist, or she's avoiding cleaning. Either or.
But I think
or both. Yeah, probably.
I think most people have. A lot of people say they can't draw, but like the reason they can't draw is because we've had it like hammered out of us that, you know.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and because of the comparison that's always made, like I just think in an education system, art should not be graded, because
We had a strong conversation about this last week.
I feel like art is about perspective, and it's about kids having the opportunity to be creative, and as soon as you put a grade on a child, that's how they reflect their art is.
And how do you not, and then how do you do art in a school setting? Like, do you know what I mean? I think
I'm just
like,
saying in a primary school setting, certainly as you get older and it's something you study, because there's different elements. Obviously, you are looking at other people's art and then reflecting on what you see and things like that.
Yeah.
But definitely definitely in primary school, art is something that should not be graded. And they should learn about encouraging one another, seeing what they like in someone else's work, and then telling them, I really like the colours you use.
So when at a school that I taught at, we had clubs one day a week after lunch until the end of the day, and it was all creative activities. So some kids would do knitting, like a teacher would take it and it would be, I can knit, I can teach the kids to knit. A teacher could say, well, I can do drama, we can do drama for fun. And so in that way they carved out a space for kids to be creative without any fear of judgment, only being creative, whereas every other part of the day has to be graded and has to be assessed. So we need something like that.
And I think it's about educating kids that, sure, maybe drawing isn't your thing, but maybe knitting is.
Yeah.
And that is creative
outlet's necessary for everyone.
Yeah. And often kids, I say this a lot, we look at adults and we ask, are you creative? And something like 60% say yes, 40% say no. But yet you ask a child and they say, yes, I'm creative. 99% of kids say, yes, I'm creative. Where along the path do kids or adults lose that idea that they are creative? But often when you speak to that person that says, I'm not creative, and they go, oh, well, I really love designing my home and I'm really into like interior design. That's creative.
I think also you can't understate the fact that like creativity kind of does get a little bit hammered out of us because it's seen as like a non-financially viable thing, but
essential to happiness.
Well, yeah, but also like creativity is like one of the most kind of in-demand things in business because basically it's a soft skill. Like you basically you can't push a business forward without creativity, and like you need all the kind of number crunches and things like that, of course, but there has to be some kind of creativity, and we shouldn't probably knock that out of our kids early because that can actually like add to their skill set as they go. Even if they're not in a creative industry later on, they can bring some creativity to their jobs,
Yeah, absolutely. And also it relates to confidence. I really think creativity and confidence and mental health go hand in hand. Yeah. And I think we need more programs in schools that give those kids the opportunity to express themselves in different ways, whether it be knitting, whether it be canvas painting, whether it be dance classes.
Yeah, in different ways that aren't judged. Now, I want to ask you, Jamie, right, because I know that you have a family of extremely energetic children. His kids are adorable. I'm like, you just...
She says that on radio because she...
No, I genuinely...
It's the dark soul.
I genuinely adore your children. They are amazing. Well done, you. But where... Well, I know your wife.
Take the credit.
You. Where do you go to hide from them so that you can be creative, or are they part of the process, or do they interrupt your flow?
I will, because I work 9 to 5, and then there's after work there's the family thing. That's busy.
So busy.
You know that.
Yeah.
Got plenty of kids.
A car full.
Yeah.
So I will disappear into the garage, which is where I've set everything up.
Yep.
The shed.
Yeah, pretty much this shed. Got probably more of a guy thing to disappear into a shed.
Right? We have a man cave.
Yeah, man cave, So that's where I disappear, and that'll be like late at night. So, I don't know. Sometimes I'll put in an hour, or sometimes I put in 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
But it's, instead of, like, if I'm just sitting on a couch watching television, sometimes I think, what am I doing? Just watching TV and...
Mind nubbing.
Yeah.
Now, because my husband is a musician when he's not working 9 to 5, and so I actually have, you're going to judge me, an alarm set on his phone every night, and it goes off at 11 o'clock every night, and he has to come in from the man cave, and he's got to stop being creative. He's only allowed to be creative until 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. So I guess, is your beautiful wife supportive of you going away, or is she a bit like, well, come on,
no,
dishes need to be done, mate?
No, she's quite supportive. Sometimes, like if we are just sitting on the couch, we go, aren't you supposed to be going out and doing your art?
Is it because you like get millions from your art?
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, need a new car, Jamie, come on.
Yeah. She very much is thinking, well, you're going to be very well known soon and I'm going to be on your arm.
Watch out, should be chopping your ear off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I need to stop.
I love having you on this show. I really do. Jamie, can I ask you, what does it mean to have been an emerging artist winner? And tell me a little bit about the show that the City of Rockingham put on. Was it phenomenal? Did you have a red carpet?
There was a red carpet, actually.
There was a red carpet.
I didn't get a photo on the red carpet, though. Like, I saw people getting photos on the red carpet, but there was it was at the Gary Holland Centre, so you entered through, like, you know, little
big doors.
Yeah,
it's actually it's a beautiful beautiful venue because of those ceilings are so high.
Yeah.
So it's nice that they put on such a show for you.
Yeah, it was good. And they actually would mention it was nice to have that like separate setting to the gallery, because often like when there's an award thing in the gallery, it's quite kind of cramped. So so we had tables and food and things like that. And then we had a couple of presenters. The mayor was there, and yeah, they.
Did everyone frock up?
Artists
don't.
Come on.
They express themselves. Yeah,
Express themselves through your frock, Jamie.
I bet you. I would imagine that there would have been a lot of artists there expressing themselves through fashion.
Yeah.
Because you're nodding your head.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like artists
can be obscure people at times.
Yeah, so it's always hard to know what to wear at a art show like that. But yeah, the show was good. There were, I think, 6 winners of 6 different prizes. And the show's still on at the Art Centre.
Yep.
This Sunday I'm doing a talk there, so and that's free event.
But you need to get your tickets through the City of Rockingham Facebook page.
That's
Okay,
right.
so we'll put that link up on our Facebook page so that they have to book tickets.
You have to book, and there's limited tickets, and there's not many left from what I hear.
And we understand that it has to be 18 plus.
18 plus, yes.
But we are trying to push the City of Rockingham to doing a youth focus.
That's another question I would love to ask of you. Oh, look, there you are. Doodle's in transit. Is do you have any, like, I don't know if aspirations is the right word, to inspire the next generation of artists coming up? Because obviously it's quite your art's quite a niche, and it's definitely
doing
inspiring.
skateboards and things like that. You would imagine that you have a kind of
basically what I want to
young
say,
mind.
putting you on the spot right now, is I want you to teach my daughter. So you should have afternoon classes because you're not busy enough in the afternoons,
not busy enough
and we'll
for
come
the
to
9 to 5. Yeah, look, I'm open to that kind of thing. I think the inspiring people thing is something that happens kind of organically anyway. Like, you know, I've been inspired by different artists. So I guess really though it's down to the child or whoever.
So that's a no, really. Emma. I'm not taking your child.
I'm not saying that.
You're looking for an answer right here and now.
Well, I kind of figured one on the radio will embrace it. Put the pressure on.
Push me into a corner.
I feel like you already are.
No, but I am really interested, not particularly, well, yes, definitely in you, of course, but I'd love to see from the City of Rockingham and from some of these artists, wouldn't it be great to have like a day in the holidays where they have half-hour courses from each artist, or
that'd be good. I think they do in school holidays do some like workshops like that, so worth probably following them and working that out. But I guess that's down to like, are they willing to do that kind of thing?
Yeah, because it would be great. And I think also particularly, I obviously love what you do, and the classes that I've seen aren't that same kind of vibrant energy. Andy Quilty has done a few from UWA, and his energy and his experience is so amazing, so contagious with the kids, and it's a different, his has come from doodling in classrooms, like with I don't know if you've seen any of his work. A lot of it's done with biro.
Yeah,
and it's just and that was what he used to get in trouble for for a lot at school.
Yeah, he went to Colby.
He did go to Colby, and he went to Star of the Sea as well.
Piece there in the art room. And
yeah. So he's got he's done a portrait of their patron saint, and it's in the art department there. But yeah, so I'd love for people like you you can connect easily with young kids, and you can inspire and energize them and let them know that this is something that you can do. Like, I'm 28 years old now. This is what you can do in your future.
Who's 28?
You lost me at 28. I was like, what is she?
I don't know how old you are, and you look so young.
Not 28. I wish.
She's definitely got you in a headlock now.
No,
do art for my child.
Okay, right. Cool. Yeah, we're good. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve this morning. Let's go.
I want to thank you so much, Jamie, for coming on and talking about your piece. Definitely get down this weekend.
Yes, Sunday.
This
afternoon.
Sunday.
Yep.
But even if you don't go to the artist talk, the art exhibition is open this weekend, so you can wander down there. It's a nice thing to do over the weekend, is to go get some culture in your life and walk in, and definitely take your kids on board, because their perspective on art can sometimes be very interesting. We're going to listen to a little bit of music, which is Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and Emma's just proved that.